Hey y'all, how you doing? This is your boy Wendy with No Surface Level Podcast, and where we talk about Jesus, we talk about business, and we talk about all things raw, okay? We don't keep anything surface level. We keep it 100 all the time. Today, we have a wonderful, special friend, sister. I mean, I don't even know. You have so many titles in my life, and I'm just so happy and just blessed to have you on this episode.
I'm honored to be here.
We have the one and only Miss Sandra Coliny. Me and her have been friends for over 10, I probably 10, 12 years maybe. Yeah. We met at USF and just watching the growth and just you doing your thing. Beautiful family, 2 beautiful kids.
Thank you.
And I'm just like, I just had to. And then not only that, she's here to talk about a major accomplishment in her life.
Amen.
Writing her first book, y'all.
Yes,
so
yes.
Sandra, let the world know who you is, man. What's going on?
Yes. Well, my name is Sandra. I am a kids health educator, and that means that I help kids to make healthier choices as far as the food that they eat, the activities that they do. Our kids are our future, so they gotta start early. And so, I've took it upon myself by the grace of God to be that educator that they need to make the right choices.
That's what's up. So I'm gonna definitely need your help because, the Haitian household health is something that they don't talk about. My first thing is what made you just decide to do that? Like, what made you just, hey, I want to focus on bettering our kids' health?
I mean, to be honest with you, it starts in the home. And so I have 2 kids. My husband and I have 2 kids. One is 7 and one is 3. And just wanting to see them do better, wanting to see them grow in a way that's pleasing to the Lord, to give them long life. I decided to focus more on healthy foods, healthy eating, healthy habits. And so, that's how, that passion came to be.
Now, it's difficult being especially in the Haitian household, girl. We got to have our Haitian rice, our green sauce, but we got to have that.
We do.
So are you mean to tell me ever since you started this journey, have you cut down on some of the Haitian meals that you cook?
No, honestly not. It's just now, you cook with olive oil as opposed to, that heavy grease that we used to. The bunning is still good.
Oh, girl.
Right. It don't matter about the oil. It's how you cook it, right?
That's it.
So as long as we use those healthy products, like not too much butter and, still the type of salt that we've changed to. We use Himalayan salt now.
Oh, Himalayan salt.
Yeah, Himalayan salt. And it tastes good. There's also dash type of salt. Dash type of salt that we can use, that can help us in different ways. So you just change some of those ingredients and it'll help you feel better.
Man, so like I said in the beginning, we've been friends for over 12 plus.
Yeah.
I really think it's more than that, but it's I can't count.
Yeah.
So I see that you're a different person now.
Yeah.
So what's different from the Sandra back then to the Sandra now?
Well, for me, I would say I know better. As you get older, you get wiser, you have more experiences, you have more challenges, and, all of those things help you to grow. And I would definitely say that as I'm getting older, I'm learning a lot more about what's important. I'm learning how to make things a priority that should be a priority and not to stretch myself so thin.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely, I know that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I honestly still think, I kind of matured a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But I'm still like one thing, being married and having 2 kids myself.
Yeah.
It does a lot.
Yeah.
It does change a lot. It makes you change your perspective of how you see things in the natural and in the spiritual. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I think having kids helped me understand how important the spiritual is.
Yeah.
Because they see things spiritually that we don't.
Yeah.
That we don't. And like my oldest son, Amari, who's 3, like he can literally point out something's wrong with me. And I'm just like, I think I'm good. But he can see it.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of makes me go back to think, man, what's really going on with that, So like how having kids affected you?
Oh, man, it just makes me see, because, we're stewards.
Yeah.
Kids are a blessing. Kids are placed in our lives for us to cultivate them and to help them to be who God intended them to be, right? And so with having those kids, you see that you have that type of responsibility.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that you do it well because they rely on us to give them everything.
Yeah.
That's, spiritual food, physical food, academically. They rely on us to make those decisions for them.
That's true.
So I've realized that when someone relies on you that much, just like we rely on Christ, it's really our responsibility to do what's best for our kids.
That's true. And I see it brought you to you right in your first.
Right. That by the grace of God.
That's out to you on this.
That
but
part.
it is
Thank you.
It's pretty. So what pushed you to write this book?
I appreciate that. Well, this is a coloring and activity book, and I'm making it a series. So the series is called Healthy Habits for Kids.
Yeah.
And within that series, with this first one, I more so talk about healthy fruits and vegetables that kids should eat and give them facts about why it's important, and fun facts that they never knew about these type of fruits and vegetables. And then I want to continue to grow in providing books and activities and coloring pages that can help them better understand on their level how important it is to practice healthy habits. Because when you start this early, as you grow, there's no need for you to make these drastic changes later on, and it's harder as you grow because you get set in your ways.
Yeah.
You want to teach people good habits, right? Because them bad habits is not going to work.
It ain't gonna work. And the thing is, because I was speaking with a couple of people here on the podcast, they said that people. Well, actually, I was speaking with a woman who's a publisher herself, and she said a lot of people create books based off their feelings instead of what they know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to you, I don't think this is based off of feeling. You actually know these things because you actually got a degree and you was a nurse at first.
Yeah.
So tell me about that journey.
Yeah. So I have my bachelor's in nursing. And then after I got my bachelor's in nursing, I worked for a little bit in the hospital setting. And then I went back for my master's in nursing education. So after I got my master's, I went into the academia world. I taught, basic nursing courses like pharmacology, basic adult health, things like that. But then later on, when I started to watch how nursing is important and education is important. And when I combined those two and I focused more on children, I started to make a bigger impact or wanting to make a bigger impact in the, in that aspect in the children's.
So you know your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I went to school and everything. So, yeah.
She know. I mean, you can't be putting out stuff.
Right. No, if you're calling yourself an expert, then you need to know your stuff. So you definitely want to stay on top of the research, the evidence-based practices, so that the information that you are putting out into the world and that you are providing is something that's credible and factual.
So when was it that moment when God was like, Sandra, you need to do this?
Well, a couple of years ago, we went through the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
And it was one of the toughest times in a lot of people's lives. And at the height of the pandemic, that's when I was actually pregnant with our now 3-year-old son, Emmanuel.
Oh, really?
And I just realized there were so many things, so many roller coaster of emotions that I experienced during that pregnancy, from going to ultrasound appointments alone and having to have my husband on Zoom, from only us being in the delivery room, because at the time they wouldn't allow other people. It was just a lot. It was a lot. And I think, like we said, we had to take the responsibility of wanting to protect our children.
Absolutely.
Right? Wanting to keep them safe because nobody knew what was going on with COVID. And so in having to make those choices, be more conscious in what I was doing while I was pregnant and after I was pregnant to ensure that he was safe, it just got me thinking. It was like, man, if I'm talking about health, it should be health overall for these kids, you know?
Yeah.
It shouldn't only be during the pandemic that I'm implementing all of these measures to keep him safe and healthy. No, it should continue on afterwards. Because that's the problem too. After a while, when we're, like, say for instance, when we're sick, we do everything we need to do. We take our meds, we drink our fluids, we go to bed on time. And then after we get better, it's done. And so you don't want to operate in that sense of you only do it when you need it. if it helped you during that time, why not continue with it? You know what I mean?
True. That's true. And so, and that encouraged you to write this book.
Yes.
Just, and it's a coloring book, so you could tell that you specifically was thinking about the kids when you did this.
Yeah.
So tell me about the struggles of it. Like, I've spoken with so much authors, and they're like, it took them 3-4 years to write one book.
Yeah.
Like, were there times where you had that big block, that, you know, that creative block that's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Yeah. I mean, in complete honesty, I think the struggle for me was sometimes getting fearful, you know? Like I was telling you earlier, when you step on faith, you're really putting yourself out there, right? And yes, you're trusting God, but you still have that anxiety, or you still have that doubt, you still have that fear, wondering, is this it, or how well is it gonna do, or am I doing the right thing? And I would say for me, that was maybe one of the biggest challenges for me, is going back and forth with, can I do this, or will I do this? Am I walking in authority? Am I walking in my purpose? But I mean, you know, you have that small doubt, but you got to rebuke it immediately. And you got to tell yourself, no.
That's it.
I'm a child of the Most High God.
That's it. That's it.
That part.
That's it. You got to tell them. You got to tell them.
And you got to believe it.
Yeah, you have
to believe it, because the devil going to come knocking, and that's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. And it's crazy because a lot of people talk themselves out of a blessing.
Yes.
Knowing that God created you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Bible, it says, before you was formed in your mother's womb.
Exactly.
I knew you was going to be an author. I knew you was going to be this. I knew you was going to be that. And it's crazy when we wake up and God is like, all right, it's time to go.
Why
and
you tell yourself?
You tell yourself, oh,
come on now. Why you?
I play too much. But you tell yourself, like,
you talk yourself out of it. You talk
And it's like, I was, the young lady I was speaking with yesterday, she said something that was so important. She says, when you know God called you, God called you.
Yeah.
And no matter how far away you stray away, He called you.
Exactly.
Eventually, you're going to come back and complete to do the tasks that you're doing. Yeah. So, is this something that you always wanted to do? Like,
I can honestly say I didn't know I was going to go this far in it. Yeah, because when I did graduate with my master's, I was completely focused on nursing education. But one thing I want to say is it's okay to pivot, you know, like we know we can have our plans, you know, but when we submit them to the Lord, He might have other plans for us. And you need to be flexible. You need to be listening to what He's telling you, and you need to go when He tells you to go.
That's it.
So now where I'm at, I'm amazed and I love it.
So how do you balance it? Like your mom, your wife, now you're an author, and then now you started working with the county. Tell me about that.
Yes. So I've recently partnered, or now I work with the county, and we partner with Tampa General Hospital. And I go to I love it. I go to different elementary schools within Hillsborough County, and I teach kids about health education. So it's literally right up my alley.
Man.
Yeah.
It's crazy how God just aligned things.
Oh, right. Literally when you trust Him. And I go to a lot of Title I schools, and those are those schools that are not in the best of areas.
Yeah.
These kids don't necessarily have access to regularly going to a doctor, regularly going to the dentist. And so to see the impact that I'm able to make in their lives, where I can go in their classroom, I can, talk to them one-on-one, or in that small group setting, and tell them how important it is to be healthy, how important it is to make good choices.
Isn't it heartbreaking sometimes when you have to go in those environments?
Oh man,
when the resources really isn't there.
It's very sad. It's very sad and very hard. And then I think the biggest thing too is you think they didn't sign up for that.
They didn't.
And sometimes they forgotten about. They get forgotten about, and so our kids need us. And the Bible talks about how kids just have a pure heart. It's like literally you're like,
sometimes I be, and no offense to anybody who gives up, so I be looking at these kids, sometimes they're so big. Like they're big, like they be eating 10 cheeseburgers a day. And my heart hurt for them, because I'm like,
I see it.
they said you're about to be on 600-pound life kids version. And my question, how can we prevent things like that? You know what I'm saying? Knowing that, 9 times out of 10, when you run into a kid like that, the family don't have the resources like we would have.
Exactly.
So how like, what's the approach when you're trying to educate?
That's really good. And I'm glad you mentioned that because, like you said, the cheeseburgers are easy to come by. Yeah. You got McDonald's right there and it's like, oh, I'm in a rush. I got to go. Let me grab this for you. And it's not that we're trying to shame the parents. And that's the first thing that I think about when I'm speaking to the parents. Yeah. I'm not trying to shame you. I know it's not easy. I don't know what your life circumstances are right now. But it's more so me coming at a level of compassion and understanding and speaking to them in a way that doesn't belittle them or make them feel guilty, make them, feel bad about, the choices that they made, but trying to help them to see where they maybe could do better and giving them resources to help them do better. Because you could always tell somebody, that ain't right. Yeah. But are you helping them understand why it's not right? You know what I'm saying?
And it's sad because it's the African American community. That I see that the most in our community. Yeah. Like, it's like, man, your kid big. Yeah. Can you help me?
Yeah. I see a lot.
Because some parents literally, they just don't know what to do.
Exactly. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they grew up like that, so that's all they know.
Yeah. Yeah. Know? Like, oh man, see the difference between, us, like, we're raised in a cultural home where, boy, you better learn how to cook some eggs at 6, 7 years old.
Oh yeah.
You ain't, we ain't, even if we knew our parents had money, they still wouldn't take us to go to McDonald's to buy at least $1 or $2 cheeseburger. No, you're going home to learn how to cook. You're going home to learn what it means to this and that. So it's just, I feel like there's a lacking, especially in that community. Yeah. And I think it's a powerful thing that God is using someone like you because not only from an educational aspect, but from a spiritual aspect and a cultural aspect as well too. But speaking of the culture aspect, what you got to tell these Haitians that want to feed their kids grill? Right. Even though, legumes.
It's so good. So good. So, I mean, legumes are really good too. It's healthy.
So it's healthy because from my understanding, I thought legume is like one of the most saltiest, most unhealthiest.
Honestly, it's what they put in it to make the complete meal. But legumes are really good, and it's like I said, it's like spinach and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, it's what we grew up on. That's true. And we're alive. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with us. So true. It's okay to have it. It's just that you have to watch or do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? You can't be eating grill every night. Like, we can't do that. And it's literally, you have these things in moderation. And like I told you earlier, if you could maybe change the salt, use a different type of salt, maybe change the type of oil we fry it in. You know what I'm saying? That can also help. Yeah.
So what are you expecting the impact from this book? What are your hopes for this book?
Well, honestly, my hopes is for it to get into as many kids' hands as possible. Like, I literally was telling somebody the other day that I see me being on Sesame Street. And I'm on Sesame Street and I'm teaching kids. Right. I'm teaching these kids about health education. And I'm speaking to the kids that look like us. I'm speaking to the kids that have different cultures. Because I don't think I've ever seen the Haitian culture on Sesame Street. No. So it's literally like, we need to get there. Yeah. We need to get into these type of different avenues and these different places because like we know representation matters. Yeah. And if we can reach one, that one can reach others, you know?
And that's going to come with some battles, girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to come with some attacks. It's going to... Yeah. And how are you preparing for it?
I mean, I'm just going to pray. I'm going to stay prayed up. I'm going to, make sure that I keep all that outside noise out. I'm not going to get distracted with those little things because I have a purpose and I know what he's called me to. And I need to be diligent in what he's called me to.
Those two beautiful kids. Yeah. They look at mommy.
Yeah.
They look at mommy.
Yeah.
How important it is how important image is for your kids, especially the route that you're going on?
Yeah.
How important is
Oh, it's very big. I mean, me and my husband always say that we're our kids' first teachers. You know, it starts in the home. You want to raise good kids, you start raising them in the home.
That's true.
You know, and when they do go out in the world, yes, they may stray. Nobody's perfect, you know. We have our own free will, but they're not going to stray too far, or they're not going to stray for too long. They going to know where their house is.
No.
Okay? They going to know who their parents are. Right, so they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
But just in them seeing positive examples, you speaking life to them, encouraging them, you know, really planting that seed to where when it flourishes, it's gonna bear good fruit.
So what is the biggest misconception that people have in children's diet that you see a lot?
I think the biggest misconception is they're thinking, oh, they're young. It's not going to affect them at this age. You know.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. That's so true.
Older, that's when they're going to have to watch out for what they eat. No.
That's so true.
Because like you said earlier, there's some kids where they're eating these burgers continuously and they're getting, you know, obese. And then as they get older, it's going to be harder for them to shed that weight. And then we know that it's going to start physically and then go mentally, because now they're getting bullied or they're stressed or they don't, you know, they have low self-esteem. So literally, you need to start early. And that's what I want to teach them with this book, because it's for ages 1 through 8.
Oh, that's a good age too.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most impactful age.
Exactly. It starts early. And I think I was telling somebody the other day let me ask you this. What habit do kids instinctively develop right outside of the womb? What's the first thing that they want to do?
Eat candy? They want milk.
Right. They want milk. So they're eating, right?
Yeah.
That's the first habit that kids learn. Point blank. And so if that's the first habit that they learn, aside from themselves, they automatically want to eat. Why aren't we putting an emphasis on teaching them how to eat healthy foods? You know?
Honestly, I didn't even think about that, because my wife tell you, I'm like, he'll be all right.
No.
And she was like, you're giving him too much candy. You're giving him something. I'm like, man, he'll be straight.
See?
But
Thanks for being
honest. But I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's going to catch up.
Yeah, it's going to catch up, because, you know, I'm not a salad person. But them, my wife, my son, they would eat salad literally all day.
That's good. It'd be good. And you could do different
and I'm like,
versions.
And I feel a conviction, because I'm not eating salad with them. And, you know, I don't want my kids to grow up and be like, dang, why daddy got titties in the stomach? You know? And I'm like, because I wasn't eating salad with y'all.
Right. And then you can't even run after them no more. You can't play with them. You can't, you're long-winded. Yeah.
I'm telling you, these kids, by the time 4 o'clock hit, it's like a boost of energy I've never seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, and I'm trying to keep up.
That's good. And you want to be around for them.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely, and one of the things that you said, imagery, they're looking at you. You're the first teacher.
Exactly.
And that is something that even myself, I need to do better at.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. So how important is faith in this whole journey?
Oh, it's big. It's big. Like I said before.
Speak on it, girl.
He's the one that's ordering my steps.
Oof.
He's the one that's giving me these desires.
Every
it's only him. And so when he speaks, we need to listen. You know? Like I said, we have plans, but if we commit them to him and he decides he wants you to go into a different direction, you need to pivot. You need to pivot, and you need to be ready, and you just need to trust.
And what would you tell that person who's struggling with that?
I know it's hard. It was hard for me to initially just step out on faith and do it. But you have to believe that if this is what he's calling you to do, then he's going to be with you every step of the way.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So do you try to is it like implement faith in the book, or you just strictly want to stick to health?
I mean, right now it's just health. I'm giving them the basics because, like I said, my audience is children, so I don't want to bombard them with too much. But just like in me speaking to you, if I speak to them and it come out, it come out. Like, let this is the source.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, this is the temple that you have,
Yeah.
and this is why you need to take care of it.
Dang. So then, since taking this journey,
Yeah.
how has it impacted you overall?
Overall, I just have so much peace.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I love my family.
Oh my
I
God.
love my family. My husband and I, we really try our best to put family first. We try our best.
And y'all been married for what? 11?
11 years.
Can't even last. People can't even last a year and a half.
That's the grace of God.
Jesus.
That's the grace of God. So yeah, I mean, and of course, like we said, when we get older, we grow.
Yeah.
We grow. And so we've grown to understand each other. We've grown to work as a team. Because we know marriage is tough. It can be tough.
Baby.
And that's only because you got two different personalities.
Oh.
You know? But once you realize that you're not fighting each other and it's a team, oh yeah, you could do big things. Just like you and your wife. I know you're gonna do great things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. So, and he's been your biggest fan when
Oh,
it comes
yeah.
to the book.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He's giving me everything. The ideas. He's giving me the resources.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This has all been organic in the sense that I've literally relied on him to tell me what illustrator to use, to tell me what content to put in the book, to tell me when to release the book. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man.
You can't play with that.
Oh. And now, and where is this book is going to be? Like, where can people get this book?
Awesome. Thanks for asking. Well, right now it's on Amazon, so you can go to Amazon and type in the title, and you can find it there, and you can purchase it directly from there. If people want me to maybe visit their schools, I can bring copies with me there. If you want me to, do something within the community, organizational events, I can also bring them there to make them.
So what's your favorite part? I'm going to go there. What's the favorite part? Is it being an author, being a wife, being a mother?
That's good.
Which one's
That's
the best?
good, boss.
Yeah,
That's good.
I'm going to push it there.
I know. But I know that some people may not like the order that I put this in, but point blank, I am a wife, a mother, and then my career.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And literally over all of us, God is the head. So it has to be in that order.
So being married for 11 years.
Yeah.
Being an author, being a mother.
Yeah.
I know you see what's going on in this crazy world.
Oh, yeah.
What Jesus.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Listen.
It's a lot.
What would you tell these women out there? Now, all of a sudden, there's a culture of, oh, Jesus. The city girls culture, this get what you can from a man culture, this, saying, if he ain't paying this, that type of culture.
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
I mean, like you said, it's sad to see that society is taking a whole different turn from what our parents established, what the traditions that our parents set established.
Absolutely.
I would really have to, and of course, when I address this population of women, because you got millennials, you got Gen Zers, you got different levels.
Yeah.
You have to be sensitive to the society and the culture now that they're living in. It's a lot. It's a lot that's coming at them. It's a lot of influences. It's a lot of social media. So in a sense, it's not their fault because this is what they see. And they're adopting it because this is what they hear constantly. But just because this is what you see and this is what you hear doesn't mean that this is what is right. Right?
It's really good you said that because what they see, what they hear transmits to the mind.
Come on now.
And what the Bible says, when a man thinketh, so is he. So what makes me sad is the divine purpose that God put in your life is overshadowed by the thoughts you have in your mind because of what you see. And what you hear.
And we know that that's just a distraction.
Oh my God.
It's trying to take you away from what he's really called and purposed you to be.
Jesus.
Come on.
Sandra, don't do that to me now. I was trying to be cool, Sandra. Well, you be bringing it out of me, Sandra. So do you believe? A lot of people.
Yes.
Because honestly, I've been listening to you, and I just feel.
Yeah.
This is what God has called you to do.
Yeah.
This is what God has purposed you to write your book.
Yeah.
To write your coloring book. To talk to young kids.
Yeah.
About their health. But do you believe that a lot of people are not living their purpose?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I think when you don't, that's where a lot of the emotional baggage can take a toll. You get stressed, you get, weary, you get hopeless. And I think that all stems from you forcing to do something that you weren't necessarily called to.
That's so true. That's so true.
And so you're literally going around in circles. You're trying to figure out, what am I put on this earth to do? What is God called me to do? And until you relinquish that control and really rely on him to show you and to tell you, then it's gonna be a rat race.
So that at one point in your life, you got it.
I mean, I'm still getting it. You
good
never
answer.
Graduate.
And
that's a good thing.
That's a good
because
thing.
God literally has to keep talking to you all the days to be like, because we never get there.
That's it.
And if we did, we wouldn't have to rely on him anymore, right?
It's good that you say that, because I always tell people, you don't know yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And I always tell even couples like, oh, I don't know him now. I say, you would never know him.
Yeah.
You will never know him. You will never know her.
Yeah.
Because Bible says the only person who knows you is God.
Yeah.
So then if you want to know who you are, you have to know God.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And so with me, that understanding came to me at 16.
Oh, wow.
When I was in church. And I think, I'm not going to, this is so funny, but it wasn't until when The Passion of Christ first came out. That's when I understood God.
Yeah, that was an impactful movie.
Oh my Jesus. Yeah. That's when I understood that, okay, there's a path.
Yeah.
That I need to follow.
Yeah.
And that path has nothing to do with me.
That's good.
So at what age you thought, you was like, man, you know what? Yeah, this is God, this is it.
I would say in my late 20s, maybe early. Because literally, if you think about it, during the 20s and 30s, you're literally trying to find yourself.
Wow.
So I'm going through school. You're pursuing that higher degree that's encouraged. You're doing what you think is right. You're getting that job that you think is going to help you to have a 401k and to better, retire comfortably. So you're doing a lot of what you think is going to get you to where you need to be. And so I think in you operating and pursuing that, God's voice comes along and tells you, hey, yeah, you think you're going to live comfortably and you think you're following all the rules, but there's more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what would be your advice you would give to anyone who's trying to walk that path of being an author and being, the woman that you are?
Yeah.
What would that advice be?
The advice I think I would give is, as far as being an author, I would say do your research. I did a lot of research because there's just so much information out there, and you don't want to be all over the place.
That's true.
Yeah, you want to have a vision. You want to know your purpose. You want to be clear so that you can define that for others, because you want people to buy into what you're telling them. They're not going to believe in your product if they don't believe in what you're saying. As far as being a woman of God, I would say it's a growing process. Like we discussed, you never really fully get there. And you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I made some mistakes, but God honors you when he sees that you're diligently seeking him and you're trying to live that life that is pleasing to him. That's going to give him glory.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So what's next for Sandra? What is next?
I mean, I don't know, boss.
I'm
gonna see where the Lord leads me. I'm open to whatever He wants for me. Yeah.
This Healthy Habits for Kids.
Yes.
The first coloring book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Check this out. Check this. My sister did this.
Yes.
You guys go to Amazon.com.
Yes.
Get this book.
Yes.
Be the example that the kids want you to be. Get this book. Do not shame away from this. This is pretty.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
This is look, somebody already started coloring in it. Oh, this is so. Where can you said people can get this on Amazon?
Yeah.
But do you have hopes to try to get it anywhere else?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Like I said, do more in the series and get it out to different places, Target, Barnes and Noble, wherever, wherever and everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then Sandra, go ahead and let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah. Well, you can find me on Instagram at healthed4, the number 4 kids all together. And yeah, just shoot me a DM there and I can respond to you, or you can email me at Coliny Consulting LLC at gmail.com.
That's right. Y'all heard it first? Y'all heard it first? My friend, my sister Sandra got a wonderful book out.
Thank you.
You guys go check it out. Y'all go check her out. She's a phenomenal woman of God. She's a phenomenal author. She's a phenomenal leader overall.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And again, guys, don't shy away from surface level conversations.
Thank you.
Trying to dive deep. All right. Sandra, I want to thank you for pulling up on me.
Oh man, thanks for having me. And I just want to say I'm very proud of you. And I look forward to what you and your wife have in store for the kingdom.
Oh yes, this is all about kingdom.
Amen.
I never forget when God put this in my heart. God said, I want you to talk to people who are impactful.
Awesome.
Not just for the people who's going to be watching this, but people who's been impactful for me.
That's good.
And I could say, sister, you definitely been impactful. My wife would tell you, not a lot of people could calm me down like you can.
Nah.
Not a lot of people, because I am a firecracker, okay? And not a lot of people could calm me down. But thank you again.
Thank you.
This has been great, and you have a wonderful day.